Get a guy and a dog in the car, and both of them really just kind of are trained to bite, and neither one of them listen to each other, and they have sort of competing agendas in life. All sorts of chaos ensues. And so that's the basic setup of the movie. They're basically they're both animals. They're both kind of like feral animals. They don't think before they act, and that's where a lot of the comedy comes from. That's where a lot of the kind of wildness of the movie comes from. But they're both along the way showing each other these aspects of themselves that they're not really paying attention to. Both Lulu and Briggs are struggling with the loss of tribe. They're struggling with the fact that in Briggs's case, he no longer has this group of guys that value him, that he values, that he can go to work every day and mean something to. Like, he's cast out into the world without any place to go to apply those skills. And Lulu has lost her handler. I mean, that person who she's established a year's, 5-year, 6-year long relationship with, being trained by him. There's a deep bond and trust there. He's no longer there. She doesn't know, she can't work with anybody else. She doesn't understand how to work with anybody else. And so she's kind of lost her tribe and her tether to her job. And so at a deep level, I think they're struggling with that loss of identity in a way. Channing and I started working with the dogs about 9 months before we started shooting. A lot of that was because of the pandemic setting in and us realizing, okay, we can't shoot for a while, so let's spend the time with the dogs, which was highly valuable. As we were writing, Channing would be in the backyard, training with the dogs. And that was awesome. It really, I mean, that's the foundational relationship of the movie, and honestly, if I could have taken 2 years to work on that with them, I would have. Like, you can't have enough time. So that really, yeah, I think that's one of the special things about the movie. Is I imagine that in most animal movies, you hire a animal trainer and they kind of come in and they show up on set and they're like, okay, the dog's gonna do this and that, and the actor's gonna stay over here, and we're gonna get that shot, and then it's like, and we're done. And this was much different. We wanted to show what it might be like for someone to feel that sense of disconnection from their community and to want it back. Oftentimes, movies about war are about the traumas and the horrors of war and why war is sort of bad. And we really wanted to not make a moral judgment on war and just understand from a soldier's point of view why you might really miss and want that type of experience again, because it was the only thing that made you feel alive and made you feel part of something and gave you that sense of meaning and identity. I don't know how anyone could make a story about the military without including real veterans. I'm not really sure how I could ever do that. And so for us, it was like, it was like, we have to. If they're not involved, we can't go this route. So we needed, in order to know how to render the production design, how to write people speaking to each other, like how to make a scene had to come from the people who'd lived that. The amazing thing about working with Chan is that, well, there's many, but I think the most prominent one is that he doesn't have a false bone in his body. So he will never approach a problem or an idea from a place of convention, and he will never approach a creative situation from a logical place of like, well, the best thing for Act 1 would be, or I really feel like I should be perceived like he's never The artifice of being a movie star has not eroded his soul, you know? Like he's unapologetically who he is, truthful, and it's like a tuning fork that I get to follow as a writer, as a director, as a creator on all fronts. Like I know that if it's not working, it's because it's not truthful for him.